I met Martin Luther King Jr. In my first year of college. This church, my church, had fried chicken and cooked chitlin dinners all year long to raise the money to send me to Virginia Union University. And while there at Virginia Union, my first year I had a job as the dormitory director for the freshman dormitory. And one of the very able seniors, Wyatt T. Walker, called me one night and said, Walter, I've got a big preacher's son coming through Richmond tonight, and he wants to stay at the university. And he said, you may know Martin Luther King of Ebenezer Church in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I didn't know a thing about anything like that, but I said, well, if he's a preacher and I want to be a preacher, bring him on over. And I met Martin Luther King Jr. in 1951. And we stayed up all night talking about what we wanted to do with our lives. And he amazed me with talk about nonviolence and Gandhi and the ability to free our people without violence. I was fascinated by that. And I shared with him what I'd learned about how the government works in Washington and how we in Washington had no rights to vote, even though we were at the heart of the greatest democracy in the world. Well, that all-night talk impressed both of us. And I didn't see him again until I saw him on television. In my first year at Yale Divinity School, I'm looking at television, and I see this dapper young man talking so articulately about what we shared when he was going to do his PhD in systematic theology at Boston, and I was just so pleased, and the movement took off. When I graduated from Yale Divinity School and came home to my home church, and they asked me to be pastor, he heard about it, and with Wyatt Walker called me and said, I want you to represent me to the presidents of the United States, to the leadership of the U.S. House and Senate, because you know government. And that sort of got me off.